Guys, it's finally happening. House of Flame and Shadow is almost here. It is currently Sunday the 28th, which means House of Flame and Shadow is 2 days away. We've been waiting so long, literally 2 years. And I even said in my House of Sky and Breath release day vlog, like, oh, I hope we don't have to wait 2 years for it or something like that. God. And yet here we are. This may be my biggest, no, not maybe, this is my biggest book release that I've anticipated in my entire life. I have never wanted a book more in my hands, in my grubby little paws, and I cannot wait to read this. I have been waiting for this book to happen forever. I wanted to film this intro before release day because I feel like release day is going to be so much chaos and I'm going to be kind of incoherent and this vlog is just going to be insane. So I wanted to talk before I have the book in my hands when I'm just like, you know, a shaken up bottle of soda and I'm just like fizzy with excitement, which is kind of how I feel right now, but release day will be so much more. So if you haven't read House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath, this vlog is definitely going to spoil the things that happen in those first 2 books. So if you haven't read those, this is not the video for you. Please go read them unless you want to be spoiled, which why would you do that? Like, go read the books and then you can come back and watch this. But yeah, I'm going to go in depth with spoilers about things that happened in those 2 books. So if you haven't read that yet, now is your time to leave. Ready? 3, 2, 1, bye. Okay. So with the ending of House of Sky and Breath, I'm just at a loss for words. Like, we're getting the multiverse crossover, which Sarah has hinted at in her series and in her books from like the beginning. And I've been waiting for a crossover book for so long. Literally, that last line of House of Sky and Breath, hello, Bryce Quinlan, my name is Rhysand, gag me with a spoon. Like, I cannot believe I read those words on a page and I'm still alive to tell the tale. Like, Christina and I did a full Sarah J. Maas reread where we went from, you know, the very beginning and went and read all of Sarah J. Maas's published books, including Catwoman, but her fantasy series. You guys know that I'm a huge Sarah J. Maas fan and that her books are like my favorite books of all time. A Court of Mist and Fury will always hold the most special place in my heart. And A Court of Silver Flames, which I just reread, was setting up so much information for this crossover, and I'm currently in the middle of my reread of House of Sky and Breath, which I'm either going to finish today or tomorrow, but before Flame and Shadow releases. And I'm just not going to be okay. I'm not going to be okay. I don't know if I will physically survive this because my mind, my brain might actually explode. Okay, so I did say that if you haven't read House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath, I'm obviously going to be talking spoilers for those 2 books. And then I will obviously be talking spoilers for House of Flame and Shadow. So as I read the book, I'm just going to pop in and like, you know, word vomit basically. So if you haven't read House of Flame and Shadow yet, probably also shouldn't watch this video because who knows what I'm going to talk about and when, but I'm definitely going to be talking spoilers the entire time because that just sounds the most fun to me. Like, I want to just be able to express and say the words that are in my head and get them out. So I'm not going to be doing a non-spoilery section and a spoilery section. So if you haven't read the book yet, go and read it, go finish it, and then you can come back. But also, because we know that this is a crossover book and we're getting 2 of her series that are going to be connected, I will also be talking spoilers for the ACOTAR series because it's kind of hard for me not to. And also potentially Throne of Glass spoilers because I don't know what's going to happen. But if you haven't read all of Sarah J. Maas's books yet, this might not be the House of Flame and Shadow vlog for you. I'm sure that there's other people that are vlogging it that are not doing as in-depth of spoilers as I am. But this one is for the girlies. This one is for the Sarah J. Maas fanatics like me who have read everything that she's written and reread and have been anticipating this book for an eternity. So if you haven't read all of Sarah's books, I feel like this is probably not the video for you because I will be talking spoilers for sure for the ACOTAR series and for the Crescent City series and then potentially for the Throne of Glass series. So if you don't want to be spoiled for those things, probably click off of this video now that is your warning, okay? This is the only warning that I'm giving on spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled for anything, leave now. See you later. Goodbye. Love you. See ya. Okay, so I took the day off of work on release day as well as the following day because I feel like I'm just going to need a day to recover after what I'm going to go through. I am going to wake up early on release day. I'm not going to a midnight release party because there's none near me. So I'm just going to go at like 6 a.m. on release day when Walmart opens because I want the Walmart exclusive edition because that has the bonus chapter with Bryce, Nesta, and Azriel. So like that's the one. That's the bonus chapter, right? That's the one you got to get. So I'm going to go get that one, but then I'm also going to go get the Target exclusive edition, which has the bonus chapter for Rune and Lydia. So I love them day and night. I just love them so much. And I want to have their bonus chapter. But yeah, I'm going to go get the Walmart edition first because Walmart is open first. And then I'm going to go get the Target edition and I'm going to go straight home then. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm going MIA to the world. I will be a hermit in a cave. I will be unreachable for the foreseeable future once I have that book in my hands. I do plan on listening to the audiobook and following along. I feel like that gives me the best experience. However, I do not like how the narrator narrates two of the characters, Flynn and Declan. I don't like the voices that she uses for them. So anytime that they're on page, I'm just gonna, fast forward the audiobook and then read that physically. And also I will not be annotating my first read of House of Flame and Shadow because I annotated while I was reading Sky and Breath and I kept wanting to keep going and keep reading and I didn't want to stop and pause to annotate, not even to just like lay a tab down, but that's what I did. So this time around, I'm not going to annotate it. I'm just going to read and I'm just going to experience the whole thing without any distractions. And it's going to be freaking amazing. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's the spiel. That's the whole intro for this vlog. I hope that you enjoy. The next clip that you see is probably going to be me getting ready to go get my book. For me, it's still, 2 days away. For you, it's just like 2 seconds away. So let's cut to release day. Oh my god, look at how beautiful this is. This is one of the prettiest books I've ever seen. The gold foil. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Up. It's so pretty. The pages are really cool. It smells so good. It's just one of the prettiest books that I own. Listen. This morning was fucking terrible. This was the most stressful release day ever. First of all, the anticipation is so high and I'm already like, I feel like I'm like gonna peel off my skin because it's already like, I feel like my emotions aren't contained, okay? I go to Walmart first to get the exclusive edition and it's not on the shelf. Not anywhere. I looked all around and then I had to go ask someone and I was like, hi, this book released today. Walmart has an exclusive. It's not on the shelf yet. Like, you guys have been open for at least an hour. Like, where is it? And the guy was like, oh yeah, I don't know. I'll go check in the back. And then him and another guy come out and they're like, we're so sorry, but our book guy isn't here yet. He doesn't come till later. He's a third-party guy and he hasn't put the books out. And Lachlan went to 3 different Walmarts this morning and they all said the exact same thing. The book guy wasn't in. He's a third-party guy. He hadn't come in yet. And I was like, That's so weird because Walmart has an exclusive edition. Like, this isn't just a regular release, like book release. You guys have an exclusive edition and it's release day. Like, it's kind of a big deal. And they were like, yeah, so sorry, we don't know when our book guy is going to come in. So I had to leave Walmart without the exclusive edition. So I didn't get it. I don't have it. And then I went to Target, who had never failed me before. And I get there and I see that these other girls, like, we got there right when Target opened and we're all walking in and, like, we didn't say anything, but we were all going to the book section and we're looking around and we look at the Sarah J. Maas section and it's nowhere to be found. And we're all kind of looking at each other and I was like, you have to be fucking kidding me that it's not at Walmart and it's not at Target. What? And so we were all kind of like mildly freaking out, like internally, like extremely freaking out. But I was like, there's no way that I am going back to my house without a copy of this book. And I had to drive a half hour to get here. Like, it's not just like I can just pop out and pop back in like whenever. And the next closest one was like either another half hour away, which put me an hour away from my house, or I'd have to drive back to my house and then go another 45 minutes in the opposite direction to go to the Walmart, Target, Barnes & Noble area in that city. Luckily though, we asked a worker and we're like, hey, do you have this in the back? And she was like, oh my god, this is so exciting. I've never had somebody like so excited for a book release that they came like right when we opened. And we were like, yeah, it's so funny. Like, can you just go check? And she went and checked and then brought out like a whole box and was like, oh, I've been meaning to read this author. She was really cute and really sweet. Yeah, that part was good. So I do have the Target exclusive. And then my friend Maggie she works in the town that I just went to for like the Walmart and Target. And she's going to check on her lunch break and get the Walmart exclusive edition for me. Since she lives so close to my house, she can just drop it off after she's done with work today. It was so stressful. And now that I'm home, I still feel like a little like jumpin' jelly bean. Like, I just need to settle down. I need to take a deep breath, calm down, and go read this masterpiece. But that was such a stressful way to start the day. And honestly, I hope that Bloomsbury hears about Walmart dropping the ball, because they didn't have it at mine out yet. They didn't have it at 3 of Lachlan's. She had to have somebody go in the back and check, and it took them like a half hour to find it. They didn't have it at Sahar's Walmart. Like, Walmart, this is a big deal. Like, this is not a small thing. This is a big deal. So I hope that they never get an exclusive edition again, because they dropped the ball. Maggie's gonna get it for me. I have a copy in my hands and I'm gonna go and start it. I'm like scared. I'm literally procrastinating starting this because I'm just so scared. I'm literally terrified. It's time. I need to go read. The first line of the prologue. I know it wasn't a teaser, but the hind knelt before her undying masters and contemplated how it would feel to tear out their throats. I love Lydia so much. I'm so excited that she's gonna have a big part in this book. Okay, the Asteri were kicked out of three worlds. Hell, a planet called Aphraxia, and the world occupied by the Fae, the original Starborn Fae. The original Starborn Fae, that's Prithian. Hell, we know. Aphraxia, that has to be the Throne of Glass world name, because we only ever get the names of the continents. But Aphraxia, I bet you that is the Throne of Glass world, because the Asteri are the same as the Valg. Right? Right? Also, this first chapter of Bryce being with the inner circle and them questioning her, and it's literally like an hour after Sky and Breath, like the events of chapter 78 in Sky and Breath. I'm so happy that she picked up immediately right where it left off and didn't do like 2 weeks later, a month later, or anything like that. Like, oh my god, I'm so happy right now. Oh my god, the ending of chapter 1. They found out about her tattoo through Love All Is Possible on her back, and it's the glowing letters inked on her back. They're the same as those in the Book of Breathings! And now she can communicate with them. I was wondering how they were going to do that, how they were going to like make it so that she could communicate with the inner circle without having to use the old language, because half of them can't understand it. Oh my god! Okay, chapter 2, here we go. Okay, I just finished chapter 6. I'm on page 87 now. And we just did the scene where Bryce like teleports below her cell and into like the nest of the beasts, and they're all like super calm, and her light is flaring, like her starlight on her chest is flaring and like leading her to where she needs to go. And then she runs into Nesta. This interaction between Bryce and Nesta feels so surreal. Like, it felt surreal when the inner circle was questioning Bryce, but something about this reaction this interaction with Nesta and Bryce, like, what am I reading? What am I even reading right now? And literally there's a line where Bryce says she could have sworn Silver Fire danced in Nesta's eyes. Like, this mashup, like this crossover is just blowing my mind. I can't believe I'm reading what I'm reading. I'm flabbergasted. Oh my god. And then there's Bryce and Rune and Baxian in the dungeons, and there was that scene where they're like, Rune makes the joke, like says like, want to hear a joke? 2 angels and a fae walk into a dungeon, and then they're all like laughing, but they're also like, their bodies are freaking wrecked and they're being tortured so gruesomely. I'm literally reading the words on the page and my brain is still going like, this is an illusion, this is not real, you are not experiencing this right now, because it just feels so crazy to finally have this book. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going back to reading. Oh my god, chapter 14, the Midgard worm coming after, because Bryce fucking lured it to them. That sneaky little minx. I know that she doesn't trust them yet, but I'm like, dude, they're literally the best people ever. Oh my god. And then, of course, Nesta summons the mask again, and Bryce gets to watch her, like, Nesta in action with the mask. And Asriel, I just love him so much. Like, the way that he talks her down after she has the mask on, and he's like, Cassian's waiting for you, Nesta. Take off the mask. And then tells her, Gwen and Emery are waiting. Feyre and Elaine are waiting. Nyx is waiting. And then he, like, catches her and says, thank the mother. This book, Rune and Lydia, oh my god. When she said that she's doing what she can to find help, and he says, you're dead to me. Okay, I just read chapter 17. I'm on page 185, and we just got to the scene where Bryce, Nesta, and Asriel go to the prison because they go through this doorway that is depicted on the end page here. And Bryce finds, like, all of the constellations from Midgard. And she's making connections like the harp that we found out about in Court of Silver Flames. And she asks if there was ever a made object called the horn, because literally she is the horn. And the fact that there were like these carvings in the wall and whatever to try to lead her there, and her star was leading her there to find the truth. Like, what? Someone had a theory that there was a court called the Dusk Court because there's day, dawn, and night. And since there's a dawn court, there should be a dusk court. And that the prison, like the island that the prison is on, used to be the Dusk Court. And if that is what it's called, Dusk, then we know about Dusk's truth that we've learned about in House of Sky and Breath. So something in the prison is going to, like, give them more information and possibly reveal that that is the Dusk Court. Celine looks like Rhysand's sister. And they're talking about how the Fae in Prythian had to give a small bit of their power to the tithe, to the Daglin, which is basically the same as giving up your first light, like, every year or whatever. Also, we're getting more information about Thea. I just feel like I need to study this like a freaking textbook. Also, the scene where Rune is trying to get like the fire poker to help them escape and asks Hunt to bite his hand off so he can swing farther. Those boys, those poor boys. I need Lydia to work fast here. I need her to work fast. Lydia needs to move fast. Oh my god. Confirmed that the horn is a part of the Dread Trove, which was a hint that she left in A Court of Silver Flames, where she was talking about the 3 Dread Troves, and then there was like a 4th item, Veiled in Shadow or Veiled in Secret or something like that. And the horn, it was the horn. Oh my god. Oh my god, chapter 19. We are getting so much of the history of what happened with Peleus and Thea and like what went down and why Faye from like the Prithian ACOTAR world moved to Midgard in the Crescent City world, and like what went down with all of that and how that all happened. And the fact that Thea is not that great. The fact that Thea is the one who wanted to go conquer another world and was lured in by the Daglin, which was Rigelus, and she didn't recognize him as her enemy and literally just like fell into the trap of going to this other world with him. And literally the fact that they like conquered Midgard and like wiped out human civilizations and all of the knowledge from like Parthos, I think is what it's called. Like they murdered all these people and just conquered this land and then took over it for themselves. And the fact that Rigelus led people from other worlds, which is why Crescent City's world has all these different types of like mystical creatures. Oh my god. I've officially passed the 200 page mark now. I am speechless. My mind is just blown. Like, just like every page I'm like, wait, what? Like every single thing. I can't believe that I'm reading this book and that I have this book in my hands and that I'm getting this information and I'm only a quarter of the way through it. This is Throne of Glass. Fae that were like us but not. Ears, the grace, the strength were identical, but they were shapeshifters, all of them, because all of the Fae in Throne of Glass have an animal form, and they all have a humanoid body, but equipped with elongated canine teeth. This is the Throne of Glass connection. Ah! There's just so many connections. I can't with this book. Like, how is this even really happening? Just confirmed that Rhys and Bryce and Rune are long-distant relatives because Thea's daughter Celine, when she got sent back to Prithian, didn't like tell her name or anything, but she mated with the High Lord of the Night Court, and that's where Rhys's bloodline came from. And then Thea, like her starborn light, is where Bryce and Rune came from. So they're long distant relatives, which we kind of knew because Rune and Rhys like look similar, but it's officially been confirmed. Ethan just killed Sigrid. Oh my god. Okay, so they God, I can't even speak. Bryce accidentally found another chamber with this glass sarcophagus that was holding a dark-haired, pale-skinned female. And she said, "You may call me Vesperus." They got some answers from her, but yeah, so Asriel, Nesta, and Bryce were all like talking with Vesperus and getting answers from her kind of, and Vesperus was about to like steal a bunch of First Light from the prison, from the mountain, and then Nesta stabbed her with ataraxia. And it says her red mouth opened in joy and triumph, but no sound came out, only black blood. Okay, I just got to part 2, the search, where Bryce opened up a portal to leave Prithian now and is presumably going back to Crescent City. But what the heck, that scene with Vesperus, that was crazy. Also, the fact that Nesta, Asriel, and Bryce aren't working together. Like, they're working, I don't know, they're not getting along like I want them to. Like, they're not getting along, but they're still so mistrustful of each other, and I'm like, guys, you need each other, stop this. All right, on to part 2. Hunt's lightning can resurrect the dead. And Adis said, they keep saying, like, what Hunt was bred for. Like, your father, what you were bred for and stuff. Like, who is Hunt? Where did he come from? What was he bred for? What is the story? I wish Adis wouldn't be so freaking cryptic. Also, Adis told him because Rigelus took some of Hunt's lightning, or he was going to kill Baxian or Rune. So Hunt gave it up, and Rigelus still said, I'm still going to kill one of them. And Adis just said, they're going to kill Rune. Hopefully Lydia's plan works out and they can escape. Oh, and I just saw in the next chapter that Bryce is back in Crescent City. Now what? Chapter 33. Lydia broke them out. Oh my god, that was such an epic, like, chase scene. I was literally crying because Arythia, the fire sprite queen, was the one to, like, burn the palace or the eternal city. I don't know exactly. And the fact that Lydia got them to destroy the spine, which is like the railway that they could transport all of the weapons and stuff. She's so fucking badass. I love Lydia so much. And Rune getting to hear Declan and Flynn's voices after being, like, trapped in the dungeons, and he's literally crying and saying, I love you, you know that? Like, I love the frat boys so much, but they're out, but they're not, like, you know, smooth sailing from here. Like, they still have people after them, so I need to keep reading because I need to know what happens, but they're out. She saved them. What the fuck? No! She's not actually. She's not. There's no way that she's actually dead. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No. Lydia's alive. They healed her. But she's got 2 sons on the depth charger with them. Okay, my friend Maggie just dropped off the Walmart exclusive edition of House of Flame and Shadow. What other book would I be talking about? But luckily, she works in the city that the Walmart that I went to is in, and could stop on her lunch break to grab me this and bring this home since she only lives a couple roads over. And I'm just very grateful to have this. Still pissed at Walmart that I had to do this and had to, like, have a friend get this for me. But, you know, at least I have it. So I can read the bonus chapter when I finish. I am on page 424, chapter 47. So I have made it to the halfway mark. So much is happening. So much is going down. They're now going to Avalon, and they're going to go to the Cave of Princes, which is where Rune got the Star Sword from during his ordeal. And so I'm really curious what's going to go down there, because I feel like it's going to be a super intense scene. And then Ethan is trying to, he's working with Jessica now, who we found out is literally 15,000 years old, who was a priestess in Parthos, is that what it's called? Parthos, and got magic from Apollyon, the Prince of the Pit, and so now she's this 15,000-year-old sorceress, which, like, I knew something was up with her, something different than just, like, the normal backstory we got in House of Earth and Blood. But he's working with her because he wants to get a necromancer to bring Sigrid's, like, bring her back, basically. And of course, the necromancer that they pick is Hypaxia, who has been ousted out of being Queen of the Witches, so she's also, like, on the run, basically. So they're about to, like, do this ritual to get Sigrid back. Or not back. I mean, I don't think they can get her back, but to talk to her, I'm not really sure what they're gonna get out of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. I'm halfway. I'm gonna go continue, and I shall see you when I see you. Okay, I am on page 536 now. I just read chapter 59. And we just found out that Hunt was made by the Princes of Hell, because the Prince of the Pit was like, hello, son. And then one of the other Princes of Hell, Thanatos, is like, you're no son of his. If anything, you are mine. So it's like one bomb dropped after another. And basically they told him, like, that he should be able to free himself from the halo, which in Hell they called the Black Crown. So hopefully that means that he can lose the halo soon. But they just said, Helena, so they went through the Cave of Princes, and it's just like the catacombs under the prison. And so Bryce was like, I have been in these like near identical caves, and so she finds a way to like get to where they need to go, and then they are like communicating with hell, with the princes of hell, and that's how we found all that out. But then Adis is talking about how Helena found something out, like how she also figured out what Thea had done in her last moments alive, and that's where I am right now, and we just changed points of view. So I don't know what that is that Thea did with her last moments alive. But yeah, Ethan and Hypaxia was trying to necromance, like reanimate Sigrid. I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. But she ends up becoming a reaper for the Underking. And then now they're trying to find Sophie Renast's body so that they can use like some of her Thunderbird-ness to convince Sigrid to come back and not be a reaper. And then there was a bombing on Asphodel Meadows, which is like the human like community, and Ethan and Hypaxia and them went to Asphodel Meadows to help the humans out. So I'm assuming that was the Asteri who did that. And then Rune and Lydia had like a really cute, sweet moment. Rune says, Lydia, finding out who you are, it fucked with my head to know you're the Hind, but also Lydia, also Day, my Day. And now, and she's like, now? He said, now I don't fucking care who you are so long as you're mine, because I'm yours, Day. I'm fucking yours. But now they realize that Flynn and Declan were taken by Cormac's dad, Morven, and these like creepy twins that help Morven. And so they are trying, Lydia and Rune are trying to go into the Cave of Princes to help the crew. So that's where I'm at right now. I just figured out an update because it's been like 100 pages since I've updated. So yeah. Holy shit. Okay. Hypaxia got an antidote created for the parasite that's in the water that the Asteri used to like limit the Fae magical people's, the Vanir's powers. And Ethan drank it and like it awoke his magic, and he has elemental magic now. He has snow magic, which first of all, that's cool. And then he goes to talk to Perry and like the den, the wolf packs, and tell them about this magic and how they can take this antidote and stop working for the Asteri. And then Sabine comes, and she's got Sigrid, who is like the Reaper, and the Prime, Sabine's dad, says that he's gonna make Ethan the new Prime. And Sabine freaking kills him for it, kills the Prime. And then Sabine and Ethan fight and face off like alpha against alpha, and Ethan wins and is now the Prime of the wolves. But Sigrid is nowhere to be found, so who knows what's gonna happen with her. But yeah, I mean, it's been hinting at the fact that Ethan was gonna be at least an alpha, but like he kept saying like, oh, I want this to be better for the wolves or whatever, and like, yeah, so now he's the Prime of the wolves. Oh my god, okay. She just opened the gate using Hunt's like battery charge, and instead of opening the gate to hell in the Northern Rift, she opened it to Prithian, to Nesta. Bryce got the mask and gave her parents as collateral. Okay, I'm on chapter 80, page 682, and Bryce used the mask to defeat the Harpy, and then Isaiah, Naomi, and Celestina came, and basically Bryce told them about this crazy plan that she has to use the mask to raise the fallen from the rebellion 200 years ago, like all of the soldiers that died in the fall, to inhabit the mech suits that the Asteri were going to use, so that the way they have an army of people that won't need to die because they're already dead, but like their soul still lingers. That's what she said. So we're about to get to like the big finale. She just opened a portal to hell, and Adis was standing there, and she just basically was like, welcome to Midgard. And that's where I'm at. I feel like I don't want to stop reading because I want to know what's going to happen, but I also want to be like fully present and awake for this finale. Like, I don't want to miss anything or like not be like fully here. And I feel like I'm not fully here right now. So I'm making the executive decision to go to bed and pick this up in the morning to read the finale and see how this crazy book is going to end. Made it so far today, but I want to make sure that I am getting everything that I can out of this ending and this finale. So yeah, I'm gonna pick this back up in the morning. So I'll see you then. All right, it is the next morning now, and I think I'm ready to finish House of Flame and Shadow. I've got about 200 pages left, and then the 2 bonus chapters that I have. There's somebody that posted all 5 bonus chapters on their Instagram, so I'll probably just go read all 5, honestly, once I finish this. But yeah, 200 pages left. I just wanted to tell you that I'm starting the conclusion of this book. Oh my god! Okay, the Under King is talking about the world that he came from, and he says, Erd was not a goddess, but a cauldron of life brimming with language of creation. But they call her Word, is what they called her in the old world. Word! That's the Throne of Glass connection! Oh my god. So, Ethan destroyed the Under King with Hypaxia's help. He, like, froze him, and then Hypaxia killed him and, like, shattered him, basically. And then Connor was, like, trying to give him this bullet and couldn't tell him what it was for or whatever, but then since Hypaxia killed the Under King, she became the head of House of Flame and Shadow, and so she could order Connor to speak then. So he was telling them that all of the Second Light, rather than like go off to like the Quiet Lands or the Ether, whatever they called it, they've put all of their Second Light into this bullet so that Bryce can use it. So now Hypaxia is in charge of all of the souls, which is good because then it won't be like the soul meat grinder thing. And Jessica is her second in command. And Connor and the Pack of Devils and all of the souls that were in the Bone Quarter put their Second Light into this bullet that Ethan is now supposed to give to Bryce. Oh god, okay, I just read chapter 90. I'm on page 753. And Bryce and Hunt just defeated Polaris. So they've defeated one of the 6 Asteri. When the sword and dagger like met and her starlight met, it started opening up that like black hole to nowhere. But it was gonna suck in like everyone and everything. So like Hunt sent his lightning to prevent that. But it's like a huge risk, and they have to do it 5 more times to get the other 5 Asteri. And then Pollux has Lydia's sons, and so Lydia and Rune are trying to go get her sons back. And Rune was like realizing that she's being reckless right now because she's not thinking clearly. So he shoots her in the leg so that she can't like get herself killed. And she said, "I will never forgive you for this." And so now Rune is trying to go find Lydia's sons. And that's where we're at. I need to keep reading. Oh my god. 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 Okay. Ah! Okay. Lydia is a freaking descendant of Aelin. She said, or not, maybe not descendant, but maybe like close relative or something. I don't know. Because Bran, her son, she calls him Brannon, like Brannon from Throne of Glass. And then she like erupts into fire. And she says she named him that after an old bloodline. She says how she knows that she was pure power, that she kept the power buried in her veins, not witch power. She knew her flames were different. Because she's a descendant from the shifters from another Fae world, blessed with a Fae form and a humanoid form, gifted with elemental powers. And Brannon after the oldest legends of her family's bloodline, of a Fae king from another world, fire in his veins, who had created stags with the power of flame to be his sacred guards. Lydia and Aelin are related. I just don't know if she's a descendant of Aelin or if she's just like a relation to Aelin because they both descend from Brannon. But oh my god. Oh, also Rune says that Lydia is his mate, which like there's been hints at it where like when they're together he says like something that he doesn't want to quite name just yet or whatever. So like I kind of expected that. But then Lydia just completely incinerates Pollux because he was gonna kill her sons. So I'm literally right in the middle of this chapter after she kills him. So I gotta get back to reading. I just finished. Okay. let's talk about it. What's the last thing that I talked about? I think it was Lydia being like a descendant from Brannon from the Throne of Glass world and how she's related to Aelin. Basically after that, we go to Bryce and Hunt. I don't know why I'm holding this. We go to Bryce and Hunt, and they're trying to defeat the Asteri and take down their like First Light 2 thingy. And Rigelus tells her about the fact that if she defeats this First Light thing, it's like their kill switch, that it will destroy the entire world. It will destroy all of Midgard. Everybody on it will get sucked into this black hole. And so she's like, you know what, I'll just create a bigger black hole and do the whole thing. But because she's so close to it, she gets sucked into it as well, into like deep space. And we have the scene where Hunt gets like the mech suit, but it's Shahar's soul that was moving this mech suit. And so it's like, you know, the final little bit of closure with Shahar. And Hunt goes into the void to go after Bryce, because she like can't make it back to like the tear that she opened up or whatever. And when he gets to her, she is dead. However, I just like, it didn't hit as hard that like she's dead, because I'm like, she's not gonna stay dead. Like I knew that she wasn't gonna stay dead. So I was just like, I gotta see how she's gonna not be dead anymore. Like the emotional impact of it was a little bit less, because like I knew there's no way that she's just gonna be dead. If she was, I would have been a sobbing mess, but I knew that she wasn't gonna be. So basically Jessica, because she's like this like 15,000-year-old sorceress, is like yielding her life to take Bryce's place, and so then Bryce can go back, and that's what happens. And Bryce gets to see Danica and the Pack of Devils like in the afterlife, and like gives the final goodbye, the final light it up, and goes back with Hunt. And then we do all of the like finale things, tying the bows on all of these storylines. So Rune and Lydia being together now, they're mates. They get to finally have their beer together, which was really cute. And then Tharian going back to, he's trying to find like the Flynn sister who he married. Hypaxia is running the House of Flame and Shadow. Ethan being the prime of the wolves. And then we get Bryce opening up a portal to Prithian again to give Nesta back Truth Teller and the mask, and then get her parents back. That part, okay, so I loved all of the connections to Sarah's other books in this one, and like getting to, first of all, see Bryce and Nesta and Asriel interact was really fun, and like I just couldn't believe that I was reading a crossover book. But I do kind of wish that there was more to the crossover than what there was. Like I was kind of, and this is maybe just because I had expectations, but I was kind of expecting like the Inner Circle to help defeat the Asteri in some way, or to have like a bigger role, rather than like Bryce is just in this world and is able to take the dagger, and like she spends a little bit of time with Nesta and Asriel, but then she goes back to her own world, and then we don't hear from them again until she goes to ask Nesta for the mask, and then Nesta just hands it over. Like she doesn't, like Nesta doesn't come and use the mask to help her, she gives it to Bryce. So I do wish that there was a little bit more like of them actually helping, rather than just like, here they are. I don't know if that makes sense, but I wanted a little bit more from that crossover. And obviously with the end of Sky and Breath, like we knew that the ACOTAR world was going to be incorporated, but I didn't know how or if Throne of Glass was going to be. And of course we just get like mentions of this world where the wolves came from, like the shifters, that the Fae shifters that had elemental powers, which like we know that that's the Throne of Glass world. And then when the Underking was talking about the goddess Erd and how in that world they called it Word, so we knew that that was from the Throne of Glass world. And then of course Brannon, Firebringer, and like how Lydia is a descendant from him, and like this like powerful fire magic. So like there's the Throne of Glass world there. So I am curious though, like is Lydia a descendant of Aelin, or is she just like another branch in the family tree, like a relative of Aelin? I'm curious about that, because I feel like it could go either way. I do wish there was just like a little bit more from the crossover of them like actually helping each other out rather than just kind of like existing separately, and you just kind of like open a window up and say like, oh hey, I see you, close the window, you know, that kind of thing. But overall, I did really enjoy this. I thought that this was really action-packed, definitely more sci-fi fantasy than like any of her other books because of like the space, the mech suits, the weapons, just like how this whole like series and how this whole world is set up. It's definitely more of like a sci-fi fantasy than just like a straight fantasy like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass are. And I really, really liked that element of it. But yeah, I liked all of the reveals and all of the information we got from this book. And I'm just glad that all of the characters that I love get their happy ending. I know Sarah has said in the past that she is a happy ending person. Like, she will put her characters through hell, and literally, and will like make them suffer, but it makes the happy ever after like worth it then. Like, they've earned that happy ever after. So I know that she is a happy endings girly, so it's just nice to see like all of my favorite characters having their happy endings, especially Rune and Lydia and Hunt and Bryce. I'm so happy that they're all happy. And I really liked the last line of the book, which is, well, the Pegasus is coming back, and like Hunt says something about, she's like, rain check on the desk sex, and he's like, for Jelly Jubilee in the flesh, anything. Like, that part was just cute that like the Pegasuses came back. But the last like lines of the book, and though she knew there was work to do to heal Midgard, the world was out there, life was out there, so Bryce and Hunt ran out to live it together. Oh, that is just like the cherry on top of their story. And the fact that Hunt had all of this like struggle with his past traumas and had a hard time like being a part of the rebellion, because the last time he did the rebellion, it like cost him everything. It cost him the love of his life, and it cost him all like his freedom. All of these soldiers died for him, and he wasn't able to do it. And then now this time, so he was like a little, you know, gun shy. He was a little nervous, and didn't want to lose Bryce. And then of course he got the scene where she was dead, but we knew she wasn't going to stay dead. But yeah, so he finally gets his happy ever after, and then finds out about like his lightning powers and where they came from and stuff. But I do also really like that there's still enough, like, this wrapped up very neatly and concluded the trilogy really neatly. But I do like that there's still some like threads out there that Sarah can still explore in the Crescent City world. So I'm really happy about that. I feel like I just need to process everything that happened, because like my brain is still reeling and I read it so quickly. I'm definitely tempted to do a reread like very, very soon, just to make sure that I like absorbed everything, every little ounce of information that there is. What a finale. I love Sarah's writing and Sarah's books and Sarah's worlds and characters, everything about it. And yeah, I love her finales to things. Yeah, I'm just like blissed out right now. So I think I'm gonna go sit down and read the bonus chapters. First of all, I'm gonna go read those few bonus scenes now, and then I'm going to go watch Sarah's interview on the Today Show and just like come back on social media now. I feel like safe to be back again. Okay, it's been a few hours since I filmed my like final updates for this. And there's two things that I wanted to touch on that I wanted to be included in this video. The first thing is about Aelin and Lydia being relatives. I think I said like something about like, is Lydia a direct descendant of Aelin, or are they just like two different branches in the bloodline? But after thinking about it, I was like, Aelin was the last living descendant of Brannon. So if Lydia is a descendant of Brandon, she would have to be a direct descendant of Aelin. So she's, you know, Aelin is her great-great-great-great-grandmother or whatever. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was when I was talking about like how I wish that the Inner Circle and like the ACOTAR characters played a bigger role in this book. I mean that, like, I still do kind of mean that, because I wish that they were a little bit more like integral to like the fighting of it. But Lachlan mentioned how she kept reminding herself, like, this is not an ACOTAR book. This is a Crescent City book, and it is the Crescent City finale book. So it's about Hunt and Bryce and Rune and Lydia and Ethan and Therian. Like, it's their book. So the ACOTAR characters did not need to be on page from page 1 all the way to the end, because we get their books, we get their stories. And while we did have, like, the interactions between Bryce, Nesta, and Asriel, and, like, a little bit of Rhysand and Amren, we didn't need them to take over the book and, like, become main characters in the Crescent City series, because we have enough going on with our Crescent City characters as it is. So overall, I am really happy with how Sarah handled the crossover, and it's just got me curious for, like, what any of the future books in the Crescent City and ACOTAR series are going to be like. Like, what will they just be passing mentions in the next ACOTAR book, like, hey, this is something that happened? Or will we get like a tandem book, like the events of the next ACOTAR book actually happened during the events of this book, but we're in ACOTAR world, and so, like, we might see Bryce again? I don't know. Who's to say? Time will tell, because the next book that we're getting is the next ACOTAR book, which I'm really, really excited about. But yeah, after, like, thinking and pondering and processing for a little bit, I just wanted to add these couple little, like, final thoughts in. So we're gonna go back to, you know, past me and wrap up the video. Yeah, I'm gonna go read those bonus chapters, so I'll check back in after I read the bonus chapters to give you, like, you know, my thoughts on those and stuff, and then we'll wrap up the vlog. I know it was chaotic and that there was, like, literally no b-roll. It was literally just me popping in for, like, 35 seconds every update, like, oh my god, this happened, gotta go back to reading. Oh my god, this happened, gotta go back to reading. So I'm gonna go read those bonus chapters now, and I will see you when I'm done with those. Oh, cute. The Target one was Rune and Lydia getting married, and she, like, surprise proposed him. That was cute. That was very cute. Okay, I just read the Walmart bonus chapter 2 with Nesta, Asriel, and Bryce, and basically it's just so cute because it's when they're in the tunnels, like in the cave under the prison, and they're bonding over music because Bryce still has her phone so she can play music for Nesta and Asriel, and it's pretty sweet. It's pretty cute. I liked that bonus chapter too. I'm glad I got the Walmart edition. Okay, I read all of the bonus chapters. So the next one I read is the Ember and Randall one, which is, like, immediately when they get, like, put into Prythian and Bryce closes the portal off to them. That is where that scene takes off, and it's cute because there's, like, a little bonding moment between Nesta and Ember, which is great because Nesta never really had a good, like, mother figure. So that one was really sweet. And then the next one that I read was Bryce and Danica, and it's a flashback scene of when Bryce gets the horn tattooed on her back, so you get to see, like, the lead up to that. So that was kind of a cool scene to read. And then the very last one I read was the Bryce and Hunt bonus scene, which was also really cute because it was during solstice, so it was, like, them spending time with family and, like, giving each other these gifts. And I just like the, you know, day-to-day life kind of bonus scenes, so I thought that was really cute. My favorite one, though, I think was maybe Rune and Lydia, or the Bryce, Nesta, and Asriel one where they, like, bonded over music. Those were my two favorite, which is great because those are the two that I have. So, and then I went and watched Sarah J. Maas's interview on the Today Show, and I just love her so much. It's crazy, like, hearing her speak, I, like, just tear up because I just love her so much. I love everything about her writing, and just, like, hearing her, like, story of, like, how she got into writing, and just, like, hearing her talk. She's so funny and, like, so down to earth, and I just love her so much. I really, really would love to meet her someday and, like, go to a book signing, and I feel like maybe we're getting back to where she'll go on tour. Maybe not, like, go on tour, but I don't know. Just the fact that she went to a couple bookstores for the midnight release parties was really cool. Cami got to go to the midnight release party at the Barnes & Noble. Cami got to be there, and so did Christina, but Cami FaceTimed all of us so that we could, like, watch her little speech and, like, be there with Cami, which was the most precious thing ever. Like, I kept taking screenshots, and, like, we tried to do, like, a screen recording of all of us, like, on this FaceTime call while Sarah was giving her speech, but the audio isn't working. But definitely go check out Cami's vlog whenever she posts that, because she'll have all of that footage. Literally, I was sobbing because the speech that she gave, like, telling everybody how grateful she is for her readers and, like, how they gave her this, like, strength and courage to stand up for herself, just gets me choked up. I just love her so, so much. So yeah, that was House of Flame and Shadow. That was the whole experience, and I'm, like, getting kind of emotional now because I know we're gonna have to wait so much longer for another book. Like, I know the next book is the next ACOTAR book, which I can't wait to find out whose book that's gonna be. And like, I just love her books so much. Like, they mean so much to me. And just thinking about like all of her characters and all of their stories, it's just like they feel so real to me. And yeah, I love Sarah, and I love her books so much. If you want more like Sarah J Maas content, I'll leave a bunch of links down in my description down below. So I'll leave my last reading vlog, which was me rereading the Crescent City books, which was a really fun one to film. And then I'll also leave my release day vlogs for House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath. So I have spoilery vlogs for those if you wanted to go watch those if you haven't seen them yet. I'll also leave the link to Sarah's interview down below because it's definitely worth the watch. Just hearing her talk, like, I just want to share it because if you haven't seen it yet, it's definitely worth the watch. It's only about 10 minutes long, but it's incredible. I will also leave my friends' vlogs for House of Flame and Shadow linked down below whenever they post them. I know Rachel's gonna have one. I know Cammie's gonna have one. I know Kara's gonna have one. I'm pretty sure Lachlan will have one. I'm pretty sure Sahar will have one. So I will leave those all linked down below. I am going to link Kara's House of Earth and Blood vlog down below because it's one of my favorite vlogs that I've ever watched in my entire life. I love it so much. Kara's reactions are everything, and I can't wait for her vlogs for like all of Sarah's books basically. I'll leave all of those linked down below, so if you want to go check those out and you want some more Sarah content like I know I do, go check those out. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram too because I post my annotations for Sarah's books all of the time, just annotations in general, but because I'm rereading the Throne of Glass series and because I've been annotating my rereads of her books, if you want to see my annotations, you can see them on there. I didn't, like I said, annotate House of Flame and Shadow, but I will. Whenever I decide to reread it, I will be annotating in it. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have for you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that House of Flame and Shadow was everything that you wanted it to be and more. I know I had the best time having these couple days off just to really sink into that story and absorb everything that was happening. And I'm so tempted to reread that book like immediately so that I can take in more of the story. If you made it to the end of this video and you want to let me know, leave the crescent moon emoji, leave the flaming heart emoji, leave the cityscape emoji, leave something that reminds you of Crescent City down in the comments down below to let me know that you were here. Let me know what your thoughts were on House of Flame and Shadow. We can talk about it in the comments down below. And thank you again so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!